it's so important that the civil society is dynamic, it's very broad, and it's representing different groups, interest groups. Very, very important. These capacities, it has been mentioned, other things. So it is very, very important, of course, that you have organizations that represent you and that can act in behalf of many people with the same interests. Very, very important. So it has been interesting to listen. Thank you. Well, we are here working in Kosovo. We have a strategy until 2020. It includes also support for civil society. This is not easy. I mean, aid and cooperation is temporary. It's for a while. So, but a democratic society always need and will have a dynamic civil society. That's a normal part of a democratic society, a dynamic, sustainable civil society in different expressions and ways. So one thing is I would like to mention is what view we have on civil society and definitions, and also that is very much linked on how we see on the state and the role of the state. This has been discussed a lot. It's not easy, but I think it's important to be very clear on that. And another aspect is the role that aid can have and development cooperation. There are risks and there are opportunities, of course. This discussion between NGOs and social movements or popular movements is also very important. We know that there are NGOs with very specific tasks, and some of them maybe have a role for a specific time in history, a specific period in the country. Some will live forever, but I believe that a dynamic civil society is always needed in a democratic society. It's a normal thing. And it also has to do with, as I see it, it has been mentioned here, the relation to democratization in two aspects. I see, for example, what role can civil society have in relation to the democratic structure. I'm thinking of the political system. Civil society cannot substitute the state. This is part of the discussion that is needed on how we see on the role of the state and the role of civil society. But I think we all can agree on that the civil society is very, very important, but it cannot substitute the state. And it cannot substitute political parties either. The democracy we know, and that we have experience from in my country and many countries, is a democracy that is the democratic system, the political system is built that we have different political parties. I think that's the key. And then, of course, you can raise the issue how do you reform that political system for these political parties. Civil society can have a role and should have a role, but they cannot replace or substitute, for example, political parties. So that is a challenge, as I see it. Another issue is, of course, how we as international communities support civil society. I think we have many different experiences. From our part, we are recommended to, when we have an agreement for support to a specific organization, we give core support, which means it's more we analyze and we evaluate organizations, and if we see that there is an organization that has an important role in society and that could benefit from international support, then we support the organization, institution, not looking at them as implementer of projects. And that when we talk about core support, institutional support, we think about aspects like internal democracy, gender equality, how this organization is functioning, and how it's represented, and all these kind of aspects. We know that there are think tanks, that are NGOs that have that is a platform for a certain experts, people, and they have an important role, but they cannot replace social movements or popular movements. And we have different experiences supporting social movements from international aid. There are risks, and there are, I mean, you can destroy a social movement also. I think social movements, they grow from a process in the country, and you can follow it. I think they are very important, but you have to be careful also when it comes to financing. And that's why I saw this thematic so important today. Thanks for inviting me, D4D. Member-based organizations, which is also related to financing and sustainability organization. I think that's fundamental. It's an important thematic. So there is a democratic structure, the political system, political parties.
If you can slowly
yeah, the civil society role in that. But I also want to emphasize the role of civil society in creating a democratic culture. That was some important things, and the role of IT has been mentioned. I think that's another issue very important today, how to involve young people and use social media to strengthen civil society. There are many aspects that need to be discussed, so thanks for inviting me and be able to listen to you. Thank you.